I can't stand his ass! I'm going to attack him!
Come on, Yusuke, you know...
Head on! Yo!
In the last 15 years, there have been an influx of Western cartoons that have drawn heavy inspiration from manga and anime, not only visually but also through story structure, tropes, etc. However, before Japanese-influenced artists became more socially acceptable amongst animation studios in the West, animators would often pay homage and tribute to anime through parodies and subtle references, or even with in-universe parodies that they would refer to from time to time, reminding us all that yes, everyone watches anime. It's awesome, it's incredibly absurd, and sometimes it's downright contrived, but we love it, so let's goof on it for a couple seconds.
Dad, I'm going to enter the soapbox derby!
No! No son of mine is going to race, and for me to explain my reasons why would be a long story, but I'll tell you anyway.
In today's video, I wanted to look at some of the in-universe anime found in Western cartoons. And I'm not just talking about the brief anime parodies, but more specifically, I'm excluding shows and episodes that make reference to anime tropes and styles as part of gags, and I will only be focusing on in-universe references. And by that, I mean anime television shows and media that exists within the cartoon or other forms of media. So I'm not just talking about that one episode where that cartoon character decided to look all animu for a couple seconds. I'm talking about actual fake anime TV shows in Western media. Anime that our favorite characters love to watch. So buckle up and let's take a look at the lovely faux anime that the West has to offer. It's juice and jam time. You get it? Because Rebel Toxie likes to talk about cartoons.
バカに対して無礼だ汚れに汚る本気だよ
ノーチャレンジに応じます王様パワー
This one is pretty well recognized among fans. There have been hundreds of episodes of The Simpsons, but I'm sure a lot of you are really familiar with that one episode where Homer stumbles across a Japanese advertisement where the mascot Mr. Sparkle bears a close resemblance to our American bumbling idiot. But we can't really use that as an example in this video because Mr. Sparkle is a product and not an actual anime character. I can, however, mention Battling Seizure Robots, a fictional anime series mentioned in season 10 of episode 23 of The Simpsons, where Homer and his family take a trip to Japan. Battling Seizure Robots is supposed to be a mecha anime spoof that heavily references a controversial and universally banned episode of Pokemon that ended up giving many Japanese children seizures during a battle sequence. Every Pokemon in the game has appeared at least once in the television series. The episode was titled Electric Soldier Porygon and was literally the only episode where Porygon had appeared thus far, and since the episode was banned, Porygon remains somewhat of a mystery to many of us fans until much later on in the series. Anyways, as a nod to this, once the robots engage in battle, the flashing of their weapons causes Bart and everyone else in the room to start convulsing into seizures.
Bart, what are you doing? What the?
This scene, among some other sensitive material, is one of the main reasons that this episode, 30 Minutes Over Tokyo, was banned in Japan. Oh, and while I haven't been keeping up religiously with the new Simpsons, I'm aware that there was an episode where Bart plays a Bakugan-styled card game known as Battle Balls.
You don't know Battle Balls? It's a Japanese card game based on a cartoon, based on an ancient religion, based on a candy bar.
Kinda like the real Bakugan, and from what I hear, it makes Digimon look like Pokemon.
What? Impossible!
Reboot!
Oh no.
Hey, Hey, everyone remembers the show Reboot, right? The Canadian CGI masterpiece about life that exists in the motherboards of every 90s computer. Reboot was about a guardian named Bob who worked to keep the computer system known as mainframe safe from dangerous viruses with the help of his companions Enzo and Dot Matrix. The groundbreaking series spanned 3 seasons, 2 movies, and a cancelled 4th season and a garbage live-action remake that I refuse to talk about. I'm still not over that, okay? Anyways, in the film titled My Two Bobs, Matrix and Bob partake in a fantasy fighting martial arts game known as Pansuhebi X. Don't let the title fool you. At first glance it may seem like a quick jab at English, but pantsu is Japanese for panties, and hebi is roughly translated to snake. Yeah, Reboot always had this thing for throwing in adult jokes into their cartoons as a way of mocking the heavy censorship it underwent during its initial run. The game is an obvious parody of shows like Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon, with its stiff drawing style, martial arts theme, and the fact that your companion looks like a Pikachu and you need to summon different monsters in order to aid you in battle. Kind of like how you'd battle with Pokemon. Just like with Pokemon, there's also apparently 150 Pantsu Hebi X's that can be found in the game with names like Wombaton, Budgiemon, and Slageria. Yeah, they really didn't give a fuck.
Your clan is weak and silly where mine is strong. Well, you have sacrificed story content for mindless violence and lack of structure.
Oh yeah? Let's fight! Johnny, are you watching that horrible Clam League 9000 cartoon again?
You know, I really wish there was more info online about this show, but in the episode 20,000 Leagues Over My Head, the character Johnny Bravo is seen watching a show called Clam League 9000, a Japanese anime parody that once again mixes in the monster combat elements of Pokemon with the fighting style and aesthetic of Dragon Ball Z. The 9000 in the title may also be a possible reference to the over 9000 running gag in the Dragon Ball Z fandom.
It's over 9,000! What, 9,000?
Clam League 9000 is not only a spoof of the anime, but also acts as a brief commentary on how so many kids, especially in the 90s, got obsessed with buying toys and other useless merch that spawned from TV shows and stickers and movies in order to keep the momentum of the show's popularity going. I mean, remember Pokemania?
And you can too if you go to the store and buy our toys! Buy our toys! Buy our toys!
Kids love cartoons, and kids love toys. And Johnny's a man-child, so why not shamelessly tie them in together? Johnny's heavy addiction to the show led him to trying to collect all of the available Clam League 9000 toys, but because of his stupidity, he manages to find himself deep-sea diving for actual clams.
Television. It can help, and it can hurt. But can it help hurt? Is it causing kids to do stupid and violent things? Take, for example, the wildly popular animated Kung Fu Monster trading card series, Mahomushi.
Does anyone remember that anime called Mahomushi from the 3-part episode titled Channel Chasers in Fairly OddParents? Mahomushi was, of course, an anime based on a trading card series that was infamous in the Fairly OddParents universe for being overly violent. In the first part of the Channel Chasers episode, reporter Chat You Betcha warns that many young fans of the anime go on to committing stupid copycat stunts as a way of mimicking the action they see in the anime, sort of like when the real-life show Jackass got really popular, and we had to endure the craze of youngsters trying to perform the same violent stunts they'd see Steve-O do on the show. Obviously, having fairy godparents, Timmy abuses this and takes things a step further by wishing to be placed in the universe of Mahomushi, putting him in even more danger than simply mimicking a stunt. Mahomushi, just like many of the anime on this list, is heavily influenced by real-life anime like Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z, and is a fighting show that involves monsters, robots, and other popular Japanese tropes.
Okay, hang on, guys. I'll use my special power to see into the future and find out where we should head next.
Hold on, you guys. I actually have another power. I can see into the future too, but better than Cam. Let me try.
God God damn it, Carmen, you can't keep making up powers.
I know when thinking of anime parodies, a lot of people out there immediately remember the episode Good Times with Weapons from South Park, where the boys magically transform into anime-style Japanese warriors after purchasing martial arts weapons at a local market. But that's not the type of parody that belongs on this list. What would qualify, however, is the episode Chin Pokemon, the 11th episode of the 3rd season, where the kids become obsessed with a fictional Japanese anime series of the same name, along with its merchandise such as video games and collectible toys. It's an obvious spoof on the Pokemania craze, which was a time in the 90s where Pokemon's popularity got so big, you couldn't go into a store without spotting Pokemon-related merchandise, whether it be a game, toys, a room greeter, trading cards, any object you could think of, you could get a Pokemon version of it. And at the time, Pokemon was arguably one of the first Japanese anime to have caused such a snowball effect and such a mass merchandise craze in the West, hence why we call this period Pokemania. It was nuts. They were so spot on with some of the social commentary in this episode that it was even nominated for an Emmy Award in the year 2000. As South Park was always known for having some pretty edgy and dark humor, the episode centered around the kids' obsession with Chin Pokemon and the constant overt embedded marketing to encourage young kids to consume any and all Chin Pokemon related merchandise. What was the dark twist? In true South Park fashion, unbeknownst to the parents, the products all contained anti-American propaganda with the aim of converting American children into Japanese child soldiers.
What the f*** is this? I didn't order anime, whore.
In the game GTA 5, there are hundreds of ways to entertain yourself besides playing the main story and the mini-games and the side quests. The devs went the extra mile to make the game as immersive as possible by adding an abundance of extra and seemingly minuscule details to enhance the very vast universe. Your character is given the ability to interact with things people in everyday life would interact with to make the game feel more realistic, including allowing the character to not only browse the web, but sit down and smoke a bowl and watch a variety of television shows. Again, it's admirable that they took the time to add all these details, and also hilarious when you really sit down and just see what they've actually done. When you sit down and activate the channel surfing feature, you get a lot of grade A parodies that act as a social commentary on the world of Los Santos, which is supposed to be a parody of the real-life Los Angeles. Among the overly patriotic commercials and reality TV segments, they even have an anime series called Princess Robot Bubblegum, and went the extra mile to make not only a series of episodes, but also give the show its own website. Princess Robot Bubblegum mocks that of your typical cliche magical girl anime, complete with a long-winded magical girl transformation sequence that's actually animated surprisingly well. The show is filled with all of the stereotypical jokes and tropes that you can think of and associate with the genre, with some added crude and very adult humor slapped into the mix. It'll leave you laughing but also feeling a little uncomfortable. Seriously, this show is really dirty and unapologetically crude. For some reason, I kept thinking I was watching a real-life anime parody on Adult Swim or something. Some of the jokes on here are super risque, and I was so sucked into the cartoon that a few times I was like, wait, can they say that on TV? And then I remembered I was watching a parody anime in a video game that is rated 18+. So yeah, they can do that. Princess Robot Bubblegum fights the forces of darkness and evil with her robotic power suit that shoots missiles from her boobies. She also owns a cell phone that transforms into a vibrator, and her catchphrase?
Oh, too horny to fight crime.
I can't make this up. She even has a so-called brooding tuxedo mask boyfriend. Wait, is that Marth? And I honestly think this guy steals the show. Like, when you first see him, he completely subverts your expectations. Just listen to some of his lines. He's so sassy and has no romantic interest in the character whatsoever.
Well, I wanted to be a ninja, really, but your parents are ninjas, and they dead, which is even better. So they made me into this goddamn samurai. Oh, that sucks.
Tell me about it. Anyway.
You want to hear something that sucks, okay? The last thing I saw was a man flipping shrimp tails into his hat. Imagine that, okay? Get your mind around that.
And that was about all of the fake anime I was able to find that exists in Western media. I found this topic to be really fascinating, and I'm probably missing heaps more. If you know of any that didn't make the list, feel free to share it in the comments below. Also, I'm aware that it's October, and this is in no way, shape, or form a spoopy video. I was gonna release my Little Nightmares video this week, but things got backed up, and the software that I used to record my gameplay had a lot of frame rate issues. Like a lot. So hopefully that will be out shortly after this video. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you guys liked this video, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to keep up with my latest uploads. Until next time guys, I'll see you later.
These are the tales of the skeleton warrior.